Hello everyone, how are you? I hope all the ladies and mothers out there recently had a very happy Mother's Day. This year was actually my first Mother's Day. So I put the flowers on my altar here. And also I wanted to wish a happy Mother's Day to anyone who has a great mom, because I think a lot of us do. Uh-oh, my baby just woke up. Jiraya, hello. Did you wake up from your nap because you knew I started to make a video? Is that what happened? He has like this uncanny ability to know when I'm about to like start doing something that requires some kind of focus or concentration, and that's when he always wakes up. It's really funny. Yes. That's okay. You can be in the video too if you want. Yeah, you can if you want to. Alright, 1 second guys. I just gotta grab my son. Otherwise he's not gonna be very happy. There we go. Okay. Alright, we're all gonna be in the video. Are you happy about that? So, let me just get comfortable here. There. So I wanted to make a little bit of a vlog today and just kind of like talk to you about some of the things that I've been doing in my life on a spiritual basis, and just share a few little things with you that I thought might be interesting. So first off, I have been writing and performing a lot more rituals and spells as of late. I was going to perform a ritual this week. Some things happened with people's availability, so it got canceled. But my ritual is actually just sitting in this little folder over here. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas folder, but it's all typed up from the computer, and then I have a special like book that I put my rituals in when I'm actually doing them. And so I will be performing that ritual next week, and after I perform my ritual, I thought I would start sharing the rituals that I do with my, people that I work with in person online. Like I thought I could share with you some of the elements of my ritual and like what the basis of the working is about and stuff, just to give other people ideas who are maybe thinking about joining groups or starting groups, or they just want to kind of like get more ideas and stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to start sharing more of what I do behind the scenes on my YouTube channel. I want to give back to the YouTube community by sharing some of that stuff that I do behind the scenes, because you guys have always been so great to me and have always helped me on my path. So yeah, another thing that I wanted to share is that I've started kind of doing things a little bit differently when it comes to my spiritual journaling. In terms of my spiritual journaling and stuff, let me just get out a journal that I can show you. Okay, so I've got a few journals that sit on my altar here. Let me just grab a couple of them. Okay, so I don't really feel super comfortable showing you like what's inside here, because that is sort of like personal stuff. But what I've been doing with my journaling is I have been really going deeper into my work with like meditation, and also with my work with like kind of like channeling information from the deities, from the gods, or from my own subconscious, from my spirit and stuff like that. Now this book here is a book where I record like signs and omens and different things that I notice. Like let's say I go on a walk, and during the walk that I take, I end up seeing like a lot of feathers on the ground, and then I can write about that in this book. But what I do is I kind of like go deeper into the symbols. So let's say all the feathers that I found were white. I would write about how I feel like that message pertained to me, that it was all white feathers. And like, let's say all the feathers were kind of like damaged, like they were all broken, or they all had like, a lot of dirt on them or something. Like I didn't find one clean feather. What I would then do is in this journal, I would just kind of talk about why I think that I'm finding all this stuff that symbolizes the air element, but isn't like the best example of the air element. So maybe in some way that means that there's something hindering my own the element of air within me, like my ability to communicate or to be inspired, or some of the intellectual side of me, some way, some part of that's blocked or is kind of being trampled on or damaged or whatever, right? And then I can journal about those aspects of the feathers and stuff within this book. So I've been going deeper into the signs and omens that I find. Like I used to just kind of say, "Oh, cool, I found feathers. That must mean that something cool is going to happen in my life soon to do with, like maybe I'll end up having something come into my life that has to do with the air element, right? But now, like I'm really getting into journaling on a deeper level, and then with this book, this one here is where I've been recording the results of rituals and stuff. So what I do is I just write down the basic idea of like behind a spell or a ritual that I did, the date and stuff, and then I leave the page beside the page that I wrote in at first blank, so that after I've written down stuff about the ritual, the page next to it I can write about the results and what happened. And sometimes I go back and write like months later because I may not realize what the result was until months later. And I gotta tell you guys, I think there's a whole lot of spells and rituals that we do where we think they didn't have much of an effect until we actually really take a second look at how our lives did change in, like, the next, within the next moon phase or whatever the time frame for the spell or the ritual was. I've heard lots of people say that it's good to record the results of your rituals and stuff, but even if you go back like a year later and just, think about things that were happening or look at the bigger picture now that there's more history that's unfolded, it can be really eye-opening. So I definitely recommend to you guys to write that stuff down if you haven't been already. It'll make you realize how powerful your rituals are and that they really are working, even if you think that they're not. So, yeah. I also wanted to share with you a few books that I think are really good to read that I have either read recently or I have reread recently. And I'm just going to put my son down on his play mat so I can share these particular pieces of writing with you. Right, Jiraya? Yeah, I just want to share the books with you. So, okay. So one of the books that I wanted to share is this one. I was given this book by a dear friend in my student group, and it's called The Elements of Ritual. It's by Deborah Lipp. I also own another book by her. But basically it's about strengthening and balancing all the various elements when you're writing rituals, because it really does make a difference. Like if you are balancing or very heavily using symbolism from one particular element in a ritual, it completely changes the entire tone of the ritual and the results that you'll get. And another book that's really great that I think is good, I've talked about this book a few years ago, but I just wanted to bring it up again since we're talking about Deborah Lipp. Again, by Deborah Lipp, this book called The Way of Four. It says, create elemental balance in your life. So this is about, rather than just being about writing rituals, this book is about your life and how you can balance your personality by looking at air, earth, fire, and water and seeing which elements you don't seem to be as strong in, and then trying to develop and work on your weaknesses that you've found. It's a really, really good book. And it's funny because the book actually that I have, see how the pages are kind of wrinkled here, like they're all wavy? When I first got this book, I was reading it in the bathtub all the time while I was taking baths. And I guess I just got it wet a couple of times. And it's just funny because like I'm such a water person, and I was reading this book about elements in the element of water. Wasn't I, Jiraya? Yeah. And it just makes you see your personality in terms of elements, which is a really interesting thing to do. Another book that I have mentioned in the past that I want to mention again because of the time of year that I'm making this video. I'm making this video in spring and summertime if you're living in the northern hemisphere. Is this one called Working with Fairies. And it's by Anna Franklin. Now, the thing that I find makes this book unique is the fact that it goes into a lot of the history and lore surrounding fairies, and it's not at all what people would call a quote-unquote fluffy book. It is very deep and very rich in facts, and like it's about as factual as a book about fairies can get, if you know what I mean. It's not like there's some new age kind of stuff in it, but like it also has a lot of like old school fairy info as well. So it's nice to read something that is unique like that, because I find a lot of books on the fae and fairies kind of, I don't know, they have a certain tone to them, and this book has just got a completely different tone here. My mentor that I work with, he lent me this book. It's by Dion Fortune, and it's a book on the Kabbalah. So this is about the mystical Kabbalah. So in that sense, you usually see it spelled with the Q, because that's more traditional for that kind of way of working with the Kabbalah. And this is a great book because it's easy to read. Like the language is very plain, and yet it's extremely in depth about all the like inner workings and the system of the Kabbalah, and a way to understand it that's really vivid and clear. And it's got pictures and stuff like that too. So I really like this book. I find that if you're going to read a book on the Kabbalah, that I would definitely recommend this. And it does like it's, I say that it's language that's easy to understand, but like I will have to admit that I am someone who has a decent vocabulary, and I do enjoy reading, and I read lots of books. Like I'm practiced at reading, so you know, I can't guarantee that it's going to be the book for you. But if you like stuff that's advanced but yet easy to read, if you know what I'm saying, then this is probably a good book for you if you want to learn about the Kabbalah. And I think with the Kabbalah, a lot of people are nervous about learning about it because it seems like such a big subject, and it feels kind of daunting to get into. But sorry, I got cut off there. The last book I wanted to show you is this one here called Conceptions of God in Ancient Egypt, The One and the Many by Eric Hornung. And this is a book that another one of my spiritual mentors has lent to me. And it's really in depth, obviously, about what it says on the front here. If you're interested in learning about ancient Egypt and the deities involved, and looking at things on a much more intimate level in terms of the meanings of the deities, then that book is probably going to be right up your alley. Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but when I was showing the other books, but I'm wearing this funny little cat ring, and I bought some cupcakes from the grocery store the other day, and to decorate the top of the cupcakes, they put all these like silly little plastic rings on there, and I just thought this one was so awesome. I know, I'm a bit of a child, I have to admit. Yeah, I should show you the cupcakes. They're really funny. But right now, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is when I was talking about the journaling and how I've been trying to do more journaling, because I've always been someone who enjoys journaling, but sometimes I get kind of lazy about it, right? So I've been getting back into it more so recently. And the other thing I've been doing is kind of doing some, I guess, like just very basic level kind of channeling themed writing, where I just take a piece of paper, and I haven't always been doing it within a journal, but I just take a piece of paper, I relax my mind, and then I start thinking about a particular deity, and I just start mulling their name over in my mind and picturing them, and like sometimes I might watch a YouTube video first with like images of that deity and stuff, just to like kind of give me some inspiration for images. And I just start picturing them and thinking about them, and then I quiet my mind again completely. And then I count down from 10, like I just count down in my mind, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And while I'm doing that, I'm just completely like letting go of like any ideas or any thoughts at all. And then I just start writing. And I write as much as I can, like quickly, like I'm almost rushing. Like I'm just writing quickly on the piece of paper and not thinking at all about what I'm writing. Like it may feel like I'm writing something interesting, it may not. I just let myself go. And I write for 2 minutes straight. So that's actually a lot. Like you can actually cover a few pages when you're writing for 2 minutes straight, depending on how fast you can write. And yeah, so I do that. And then I just leave it. Like I leave it for like at least like an hour or so, but sometimes I don't even come back to it until like the next day. But I do come back to it soon because I feel like the messages and things that might be in the writing that I did are like pertinent to the moment, like to what's going on in my life at the moment, or to spiritual awakenings and stuff that I need to be having at that time. So I go back to it, I revisit the writing, and what I do is I take a highlighter or a colored pen and I go through what I've written and I just highlight words that stand out. Words or sentences or whatever that stand out. And if you have like a colored pen, you can just like underline different things. And then sometimes I'll write down a word and like I'll end up like Googling the definition of the word, and then that might take me on a path of thinking about something else. And like I just go through what I've written, and like if I wrote about some kind of interesting imagery, I'll kind of like Google that imagery and see like what kind of symbols or if there's myths that involve those types of imagery and whatever. And it's been really, really cool, and I've had some pretty neat experiences with that. So I definitely recommend doing this kind of like basic channeling that you can do. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that I've been doing that because it's something that's new for me. It's not something that I've done a lot of or anything in the past. Yeah, right, Jiraiya? Yeah, are you going to hold your froggy? And Jiraiya wanted to tell everyone that he is almost 4 months old now, and that I'm going to be posting some videos of him, like just some clips and stuff of him doing cute stuff. For anybody who's a baby lover out there. And I have to tell you, like, babies really are magical. And one of the things that I've been inspired to do that I am going to do this summer, and I'm going to try to film all the videos outside, like just to have a nicer background and stuff. So if I can, I'll try to do that. But I want to do a baby wisdom magic series about like the innate qualities of babies and how we can pull from those things to connect with our own inner baby or inner child and enhance our magic. And I thought that Jiraiya could actually be in the videos since I actually have a baby and I have this direct source of inspiration and light and whatnot in my life. So that's going to be happening on my channel soon. That's like something that I also wanted to do to like try to give back and stuff, because there's so many people online right now with so many awesome ideas, and there's so many creative, crafty witches and magical people out there that I've been watching and trying to interact with as much as possible. So yeah, are you okay? What, you want to be picked up now? You want to be picked up again? Okay, let me grab you. Come here. There we go. Oh, you're starting to... He's starting to have some good weight to him, I'm telling you, this kid here. So yeah, those are the main things that I kind of wanted to chit-chat with you about today. And let me show you these cupcakes. You got to see these things. They're so cute. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Look at them. I already ate one, but look, so there's like a little ring that's a crown. And there's a thing from Frozen. I've never even seen that movie, so sadly I don't really care so much about that. There's a Hello Kitty ring. How awesome is that? Another crown and another cat head. So, these are totally delighting my my inner little girl and my inner child is very happy with those. So yeah, I've been sporting my ring today. My boyfriend was like looking at it the other night like, what the heck is that? Anyway, yeah, so I hope everyone's doing really well. And I just wanted to say that I've been just loving everyone recently. Like, I just think we have a really awesome community here on YouTube. And yeah, just hoping everybody's having a nice week. And oh, I wanted to show you my windowsill. If I haven't showed this already in a video, I just wanted to share with you my windowsill that I've got all of my crystals sitting on. Just because it looks really pretty. See, I've got, these aren't all of my crystals, but just some of the ones that I thought were fun to put on the windowsill. So yeah, and just as a quick little cleaning tip for crystals, if you're like me and you're making a point of keeping your crystals out in the open where they can get dusty and stuff, I wanted to let you guys know that a really, really great way to clean your crystals is to use a Swiffer cloth. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be a real Swiffer cloth, but you know those little cloths that are made by the Swiffer. What's wrong? Anyway, yeah, so the way those cloths are designed, they really get into the different grooves and crevices of the crystals. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Jiraiya. Okay, come here. Come here. Oh, I know. I know, it is hard. It is hard. It is hard. So yeah, I gotta go because somebody's not happy right now. But yeah, love and blessings to everybody. And Jiraiya says bye too. Right, Jiraiya?